Hi, everyone. It's Tammy Joya. I'm back. Told you guys I'm trying to get back on schedule. So my name is Tammy Joya, and I'm an advocate for children with special needs, and I help parents navigate the special education maze as it is. We discuss all of the problems that parents are having, and hopefully we can, or I can, give you guys some kind of direction as to where you want to be. So tonight, we're going to talk about things that you guys have gone through and you don't seem to get answers on. So, for instance, like I said in my post, have you ever asked for an evaluation and never got a response from the school? Did you know that there's a timeline? Did you know that they have to send you prior written notice as to whether or not they're going to grant your request? And if not, they have to tell you why. Did you know that? They can't just say no. Okay, and that's what this whole thing is about today. It's about how school districts just say no, and they think that that's perfectly fine, and they don't have to give you any other explanation. They're not obligated to, when in fact it's just the opposite. They're federally obligated to give you an answer. Okay, that's part of their agreement with the state Department of Education, whose obligation is also, they also have to make sure that school districts are implementing the IDEA regulations to the feds, which is the Office of Special Education Programs. You see, the Office of Special Education Programs, hey, Barbara, the Office of Special Education Programs hold the purse, they hold the purse strings for the special education money, which is enormous. Okay. I told you people, for instance, in Massachusetts, it's $643 million a year, approximately. $643 million a year. And on average, Massachusetts has about 160 approximately children that are receiving special education services in some way. Okay. So, and there's only a very small percentage of children that are like in private schools receiving private school services. I mean, it's small. Most of our children with special needs are in public school settings. Now in Massachusetts, for instance, and that's my point of reference, guys, because that's where I got most of my training, unbeknownst to them. But that's where a lot of my experience as an advocate came from, is in Massachusetts. And in Massachusetts, they have a lot of special ed schools, lots and lots and lots of special ed schools within a very short distance from your house. They have schools called collaboratives. And a collaborative it could be in a public school setting, but it's basically a private school. They call it a collaborative. A lot of the programs are in public school settings, but a kid has to be, they have to go through the same process that you would if it was a regular private special ed school. You don't just walk in and say, hi, I'm a student with special needs and I want to come to this collaborative. That's not the way it works. They treat it as if it's a private school setting. So for all intents and purposes, it is. I don't care what they say. So there's a lot of people that have to answer a lot of questions when it comes to implementing the IDEA. Implementing the IDEA isn't just they violated my rights. Not only did they violate your rights, quite possibly, they violated the IDEA agreement. They violated your child's right to faith, which means the money, the money that they got, yeah, that's in jeopardy now. Okay. Because if they did it to your kid, then they did it to a whole bunch of other kids. Okay. In the same way, because most public schools can't step out of their own little box that they created, by the way. They can't step out of it. So what they do to you, it's like general practice. Okay. If you talk to a few parents in your town, you'll find out that they've gone through the same type of thing for the same reason. Okay. It's because that's their playbook. Okay. That's their playbook. So if they continue to violate in the same area, they could lose their funding. For instance, one of my clients, not too long ago, we filed a complaint against the school district. This was like last year, I think. We filed a complaint against the school district, the kids in a private school. And we told the state that the student's IEP called for speech and language services. So they found in favor of us. And in favor of us, hi, Michelle. This is, I know it's true. So they found in favor of us. My client was supposed to receive 18 hours of speech and language services. And it was so bad. I think this was the one that the Department of Education wrote. It might have been a different kid, but it was 18 hours of speech and language services. And the Department of Education investigator said that this is grounds for them losing funding, for the school district to lose funding. You see, that's why I talk a lot about complaints, okay? The more complaints that are filed, and the more OSAP knows about all of these complaints and these hearings and stuff, it could cause an investigation, especially on a school district. Okay, you have one school district that has a lot of complaints filed against them. Whether or not the state finds in your favor, that's a lot of complaints. It's enough to force, the feds to pay attention. That's why I give you guys the names and email addresses, and I talk a lot about OSAP because I'm a firm believer in following the money. You see, that's what drives these people. It doesn't have anything to do with your kid. Make no mistake, it's not about your kid. They want to feel good about themselves, so they need to put themselves on a pedestal because apparently nobody else is. Maybe it's not going on in their house. I don't know. But they take great pleasure in hurting a child. And I don't care what anybody says. For instance, I'm in a hearing right now, and you're not going to believe what the hearing officer said. The student is going to school with an IEP that says 811, 6 hours a day. So that means that the student is supposed to be in a classroom for 6 hours a day with 8 students, 1 teacher, and an aide. That's it. This IEP hasn't been implemented in 2 years, over 2 years. The hearing officer, we're going for pendency. And this hearing officer said, so that the court reporter could type it out, he said, hey, Kimberly, he said to me, I completely blew a gasket, I have to say. He said to me that his problem is that this student hasn't been receiving services for this program in his IEP since the day he walked into school. So this guy, this person, thinks that he's going to get away with allowing the school district to not implement the IEP for pendency. So that means whatever the program that, by the way, there is no other IEP. There's no other IEP. There's only the IEP that he transferred to the school with. And by the way, I'm telling you this because it's an open hearing. Yeah. Since I can't tell all 800 of you, which I should tell them, if you guys send me some information, you can join. I'll send you the link. It's an open hearing. Anybody can go. Anybody can go. Okay, it's an open hearing. Hey, girl. Hey, Amanda. So, the hearing officer said to me that the only alternative is for him to let the school to keep the same placement. Send you the link, Barbara. Okay, I gotta tell them who you are. Barbara wants the link. Barbara, link. The next hearing date is February 8th, just so you guys know. So this hearing officer thinks that the idea says pendency, okay? Oh, yeah. Pendency is the program they implemented and not based on the IEP that they didn't implement. Okay. You guys have to send me, What did they say? I'll ask my client and I'll get back. Say Paula wants it. I'm going to start a list. I'm going to start a list. So we got Paula. I need, in order to do it, I need your, I don't know what the hell I need for you. I need your email. I need all of your email addresses. Okay. And I'm just going to say your parents, concerned parents. Okay. I'm just going to say your parents. Michelle too. Wait, you guys. Okay. So I got Barbara, Michelle, Cardona. I'm writing you guys' names down. Paula, Barry. Okay, is that everybody? No, listen. Okay. Now you're going to make, okay, this is what I want you guys to do. Everybody that wants, I'm 99% sure I can do this. Okay. So everybody that wants a link, I need your names and your email addresses. So far, if I need more, I'll let you know. But send it to me. I need them all in one spot. Oh, I know. Okay. Either on my Facebook page for where this is being televised or my YouTube channel. Okay. Just say, I want the link to the February 8th hearing. And then I'll just get your name. Okay. Put your email on it and I'm good to go. Is that okay with you guys? Okay. So that's what I want you to do. Go to my link, after you subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and then you'll always be notified of anything that I'm doing. But this is going on February 8th. So anyway, just let me know. Barbara, I got yours. Barry, I think I have yours. I'm not sure. So anybody that wants it, remember, I'm going to remind you guys all. I'll remind you all at the end of this. Okay. So he tells me he's going to actually, and I told him, well, then just end the hearing right now. Just say we're done because we're appealing this right now. I can't wait to see because it's in New York. Because in New York, they have a 2-tier system. So once he issues the order, then what I'm going to do is we're going to appeal it. Hey, Wendy. What we're going to do is we're going to appeal it. And now he's screwed because he cannot knowingly, and he actually said it during the course of the hearing, that he's going to put the kid in the program they've been implementing rather than the IEP they haven't implemented in 2 years because they haven't implemented it in 2 years. So I said to him, what you're saying is they don't need an IEP. They can do whatever the hell they want. And this is how I was talking to him. Now he's mad because I'm yelling. Of course I'm yelling. That's stupid. I don't know what's wrong with you. You're going to violate this kid's rights to protect the school because there's only one beneficiary from that statement. So why don't we just end this hearing right now? Okay, let's just end it. We got no teachers. By the way, no teachers testified. Okay, there was no teachers. They put this kid in a gen ed class. Get this. The kid's IEP said 811 on one of the IEPs, which, by the way, this is the other thing. There's a big thing that's going to hit the fan on the 8th. And I can't even blow my hand. I can't even do my hand like this. I'm not going to blow it. You guys got to come and join us. So anyway, he's decided that he wants to hear from the teacher because during all of the testimony, we're trying to figure out, if the kid's class was integrated, because they said they put it, the IEP that we have in front of him says it's integrated. He's full of it. It doesn't say integration anyway. You know where it says integration? In the current level of performance. And that IEP was written by his previous school. It was their current level of performance in his previous program before that IEP. Before that IEP, he was in a gen ed class, which the mother fought and the mother won the 811 6 hours a day program. And get this, the program that was supposed to deliver that IEP, they were sitting at the table. Okay. They were sitting at the table writing this IEP that they now say doesn't exist. Then wait for it. The lawyer for the school, oh wait, this gets better. The lawyer for the school district is also the lawyer for the program. I can't make any of this up. These people are bona fide crazy. Okay. So anyway, she's representing both of the clients. at the same time. She's throwing one under the bus because they're not in this hearing one with them because they're stupid. But they saying the kid is in a gen ed class. You know, there was not one teacher that we could find their name. Yeah, we can't find any of the teachers' names. There's no classrooms. Okay. The special ed teacher writes the report card, all of the courses the kid is supposed to be in a gen ed class. Yeah. The special ed teacher, if she has the kid, all of the classes on the progress report. These people are nuts. But see, this is why I do this, because they think that crap is okay. They think it's, and I told the hearing officer, he didn't want me to say it, but I told him. So what you're saying is, they don't have to implement an IEP. They can write one up for billing purposes. So what did they pay for? They paid for him to go to a gen ed class with one resource room for 60 minutes. The IEP says 811, 6 hours a day. Now they're trying to say the mother knew. First of all, who cares if the mother knew what you were doing? It's not on paper. Why isn't it on paper? You know why? Because it's fraud. That's what it is. They submitted this. I just found a patent. OSEP letter that talks about this very thing. Next week, I'm going to be able to pull up my documents so you guys can read them, and I can draw on them at the same time, because I'm going to use Microsoft Edge, and then I can draw right on my documents that I pull up. That's a PDF file. But anyway, that's fraud. That's right. Yep. And we got the school district's attorney. So now, there's nothing on the IEP that says the IEP is for billing purposes. Get this. The attorney said it during a conference call. I lost my mind that day too. I said, what? I said, oh my God. You wrote an IEP for billing purposes? So none of this is true. Then they go to a team resolution meeting and the same thing happened. They just spill their guts. They admitted everything. But this is typical in New York. We went to a hearing before, and the Dryden School District said that they just pick up the phone and call the kid's doctor and ask for prescriptions. I said, what? What are you talking about, Willis? Everybody, the secretary said it, the special ed director said it, other people from other departments said it. I mean, it was unreal. They said they just pick up the phone, and the doctor, the kid's doctor, gets to writing for OT or PT or whatever services. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I asked him, first of all, I turned to the mother and I said, terrible. Oh God, you have no idea. This is why I know exactly what you got. And this is not even that shocking. It really isn't. It's irritating is what it is. It's like nobody knows. These are all lawyers too. The hearing officer is a lawyer. The lawyer for the school district is a lawyer. Okay. All of these people are lawyers, and it's like, there's no laws. There's no rules. There's no nothing. We just do whatever the hell we want. But see, I got something for her. Okay, they're going to find out just how bad their stuff. She must be a lawyer for billing purposes. Yeah, she is a lawyer. That's the one that said it. There's no such thing. The IEP is the backbone of IDEA. It talks about the kids' unique needs. And so I said, so the IEP isn't for the unique. The IEP was not designed to address the student's unique need. It was designed to address I'm playing with my heater because I'm hot now. I'm getting all heated up. The IEP was developed to address the school's unique needs. Is that what you're telling me? Now everybody's backtracking and, backpedaling and everything because they're stupid. Okay. They don't think anybody's going to ask these questions. Then I know they wanted to pass out when the mother sat up there and told them all about her credentials, because it took like 10 minutes. Took like 10 minutes for her to recite her credentials, because they thought they were dealing with some parent who didn't know her rights. Okay. So she got up there. She's already beat them like 3 or 4 times in New York. 9 o'clock on the 8th. Okay. Now, we could put you in there and you're not going to be able to talk. Okay, they're going to silence your mics. Okay, but all I want you to do is see shit in action, because if you've never gone to a hearing, then you'll see. But every hearing is different. Now, this doesn't go on in Massachusetts. They know a little bit better. And that's why I'm so evil with this hearing officer, because half the time I was yelling at him and he got mad and he told me on the record, she's yelling at me. And then he did it to me. I said, excuse me, are you yelling at me? He said, no, I'm not yelling at you. It's so stupid. So anyway, so this is the kind of numbnut stuff. You can't make this up. You really cannot make this up. How these people think that they can just, I don't understand how he doesn't want me to be mad. And then he's like, Ms. Joya, you're testifying. Ms. Joya, you're going on and on. Yes, right. You know why? Because I'm not a lawyer. Oh, that was the other thing. That was the same guy that told me I was practicing without a license. Because I know the law. Stupid. You don't know it. Somebody in this room's got to know it. The attorney for the school district calls an IEP a bill. You're telling us the IEP doesn't matter because the last placement that they implemented is the one they're going to get. Meanwhile, this is a pendency hearing because we have another hearing to go forward on. This is just pendency while we're in a hearing. And our hearing is about the IEP they didn't implement. And this moron, by the way, that's the other thing. He tells us at the very beginning about how he advocates for kids and special needs, and he represented them during hearings to get against school districts. This guy right here. This is what he told me. Yeah, I know, right? Wild shit for real. Okay. That was 2 days last week. I thought I was going to lose my damn mind. Anywho, that's why I do this. See, that's why I'm in it to win it. And I will torture everybody. I don't care. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get all of her cases and we're going straight to the Office of Inspector General, because that fool should have never said that this was for billing purposes. And she never backtracked. She never denied it. She never said nothing. I said billing purposes. I've never seen it. And then I brought it up again to the hearing officer during our hearing. I said, you people don't have any respect for the IEP. It's like it doesn't exist. It doesn't matter to you people. Oh, that's right. It's for billing purposes. I don't understand. Then we wrote a motion to sanction the school. He didn't like that. He got mad at the mother for filing it. Well, what the hell? They're doing whatever the hell they want. And he's letting them, because guess why? Let me tell you why. This is why I hate going to hearings, guys. Because he has to figure out a way how the school district can win. That's what he's doing. He's trying to figure out a way how the school district can win. So he's doing all this nonsense. But I got a hot news flash on him. This will go right to federal court. And then he's going to look like an ass. Because as soon as it goes to a federal court, the federal court judge is going to throw it out. The law is clear. The law doesn't say anything about, since the school district's been implementing this program, this is the one that we're going to let them do until the hearing's over. Oh, I forgot. He's failing everything. See what I'm talking about? Which I'm going to let him have it again. I'm going to say, let me get this straight. You just saw my client's report card with a bunch of teachers' names on it that just appeared the day before the hearing. We just got it the day of the hearing. Mother wasn't get. Do you know the mother never had a parent-teachers conference with any of the so-called gen ed teachers? Never. In 2.5 years. 2.5 years. And she testified. Because they're dumb. So then the hearing officer says, well, I think I really need to hear from his teacher, Miss Elizabeth person. Oh, okay, good. Because I said, why does she have to come? Well, I really want to hear, he says, about her interaction and her conversations with the mother. I said, what conversations? There's never been any conversations. He said, what? Yeah. Then the mother says, no, there's never been any conversations with anybody, unless it's like logistics. What time is the virtual thing going to start? When's it going to end? That's what's going on. This poor kid. Yes. Diane, how are you doing, girl? Yes. This is what's going on. It's not just you guys. I tell you guys these stories because it's not just you. They get worse. But that doesn't mean you stop fighting them, because they're going to lose, because they're no good. And what they're causing is an even bigger problem, okay? Because They have to produce a document that says the IEP is for billing purposes. The mother was presented this document and in September by another school, who she also filed against, because apparently they knew that nobody has this program. Quincy is doing great. Head Start lost my daughter on the bus. Had to call. See what I'm talking about? Quincy PD. You should have called 6 o'clock news. Nice. Your kid got lost. You have changed our IEP. Good. I'm glad I changed your IEP life. Okay. Anytime that happens, number one, you get on the phone, you call the 6 o'clock news. Number two, get on the phone and call OSAP and tell them, my kid's on an IEP and these idiots can't even find her. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's not that difficult. That's why I don't have any sympathy for them. I just don't. My mother raised 7 kids. She knew where all of us were. We're all at the same time. She knew where we were. We all had different friends. We all were different. My mother knew where every single one of her kids were at all times. And let me tell you something. We did not disrespect my mother. We did what we had to do. And another thing, just because the teacher said so didn't mean my mother took it like they said so, therefore it is so. My mother questioned shit. Oops. She questioned them. We come home and we tell them, no, Ma, that's not what the teacher, that's not what happened. So what happened? Now my mother's mad. Don't piss my father off, God rest his soul. They then turned around and called see? For a 30-hour seizure? How do you have a 30-hour seizure? They dismissed it, right? Quincy Head Start. It's just a crazy mess. You have to report them, okay? You can report Quincy. You can file, okay, you guys, in Massachusetts, you can file a 51A against the school. I did it in Pembroke. We did it in Pembroke. Somebody did it. Did I do it? It was either me or somebody else, but it was done. And they came back and said it was the teacher. Okay, medically spoke. If that's what I'm saying, I had a client and the school tried to say the kid was having pseudo seizures. And the school was trying to say that the kid had 90 seizures in like a minute. Some stupidness. And they came back and said, I asked the psychiatrist, and he said, the only way that kid could, no, I asked her seizure doctor. And the doctor said the only way that could happen, if that happened, she would be in an emergency room, in the hospital, in intensive care. You can't have that many seizures and live. The kid graduated with a regular diploma at the age of 18. That kid, they said she had a 56 IQ. I got her tested 3 times. She was tested in elementary school, I think in the 2nd grade, and her IQ was average. Then that was the 2nd grade. I think it was the 4th grade. We had to test her. Her IQ dropped to a 77. Then when she was in the 6th grade, we had the same neuropsych did it. The same neuropsych in Massachusetts did this. And he found that her IQ had dropped to a 56. She had no head injuries. She had no type of a fever or illness that could have caused that drastic of a drop in an IQ score. She had no head injury, no brain injury, nothing. You know what it was? They never gave her an education. So she kept getting older, but she stayed down here. So she was in the 1st grade level, in the 6th grade. So it looks like she had a brain dysfunction, a degenerative disease. Something was eating away at her brain. You need to report Head Start, okay? You need to report Head Start. And Head Start, if your kid is in there because of a disability, they're supposed to, at 2 years, 9 months, they're supposed to contact the school to tell them, child find, here's my child, come find her. And then they're supposed to take her IFSP and turn it into an IEP. It doesn't matter how old your kid is, by the way. Once your kid turns 2 years, 9 months, they have to start the process of child find to the public school setting for pre-K school, pre-K. Then they have to get an evaluation done in all areas of suspected disability and not some fly-by-night evaluations, but done by their opinion, okay, and observation, okay. They have to actually do evaluations. They don't ever do them in the pre-Ks when the kid first goes there. If a child is starting school in the 3rd grade in Massachusetts, none of the public schools, they don't do the WISC-5. They don't do FBAs. They don't do academic achievement testing. They don't do the BOT2. They don't do any standardized, any kind of technically sound testing. Zippo. They do observations and their opinion, and they call it a test. And if they do that to you, then what you have to do is say, okay, good. Now file against them, because that's a violation. At the age of 3, everybody, at the age of 3, your child falls under the IDEA umbrella, okay? And that means whatever a 1st grader could get for an evaluation, your child at 3 years old can get it too. There's plenty of testing for children between the ages of 3 and 5 of technically sound instruments. My kids in both public school and Head Start, because of you. Oh, good girl. Quincy Public paid for behavior testing. Boston Children's. I love it when a plan comes together. Good girl. Lots of pushing. That's right. And that's what this is all about, guys. The more you know, the more it's a weapon. Knowledge is power. Okay? It's a weapon. You can get what you need. And they don't like it when parents know this stuff. They hate it. That's why the hearing officer hates me. I don't care if they don't like me. That's none of my business. What's that thing I saw on Facebook? My sister said, I'm not going to say the actual word, but I can say, the guy sits there and he's doing, and he goes, what does he do? How does he do it? I don't give a, I don't give a, I don't give a, it ain't my business. I love it. Okay. I don't give a, I don't give a, I don't give a, it ain't my business. I love it. 100%. That's right, girl. Lots of pushing. Every day, every day, every day. You got to do it. They don't like it. Nobody cares. Let me tell you what I do. Okay. As an advocate. If you guys come to me and you say, I want you to do this and this and this and this, and I didn't forget anybody that's out there, I'm going to get some stuff done tomorrow. Okay. It's been busy. Snowstorm, family here. They got stuck. Okay. I have a problem. I'm going observation, my baby girl tomorrow, classroom. Okay, girl. Write down what you want to see. Okay, and then do check boxes. Okay. Write down what you're looking for your daughter to accomplish before you go there. Okay. 4 to 16 meetings a year. Good. Too bad. That's what they get. Don't start none, won't be none. Okay. They can't tell you how many you can have. You can have as many as you need. Okay. And so what I do when I take a case, and this is what I want you guys to do. Pretend you're going to hearing. So what do you need when you go to hearing? You need proof. You need evidence. If you need proof and you need evidence, you need to create it. Okay. Because they give you a lot of stuff. Sometimes you guys don't even know. You guys don't even know that they just stuck their entire foot and body and head, everything is in the hole because they're dumb. Okay. So what you guys need to do is sit down and say, okay, so first thing we got to look at, what do we got to do? So let's say you requested your kid's records. This just happened. I think I talked about it last week. You requested your kids' records 48 hours before a team meeting or before the meeting that they said they're going to have. Okay. And they don't give them to you. They have the meeting. They call you up. You tell them before they're calling you, you're coming to the meeting. No, I'm not coming to the meeting. Where's the records? Stupid. Child. I pulled my child's file from both schools and it was missing so much stuff. That's right. That's right. It was missing out. Let me tell you something about, before I go forward with this, let me tell you something about the idea, which is really cool. You see, it's a federal law. Okay. It's 307 pages of laws, of regulations. Okay. Now, when you have regulations are telling you step by step what has to be done. So if you did step 1, but you skipped step 2 and you went to step 3, there's going to be a hole in the paper trail. I literally look for those holes. That's what you guys have to do. So if you want an evaluation, then what you should have is your request for the evaluation, their response to your evaluation, and then the evaluations. Okay. Now, if you get evaluations, the evaluations actually have to meet a certain criteria. Okay. For instance, there can be no screenings, okay, to develop instructional programs for your kid. Can't be any screenings. Everything has to be, it either has to be a teacher's assessment. It can include a teacher's assessment of your child's educational current performance levels. Okay, the teacher's in there, so yeah, it can have that. But at the same time, that can't be all. It can't be about their opinions. They can take all of their opinions and put it where the sun doesn't shine. And New York is also famous for that, or infamous for that. They love. Okay, Barbara says, bring pen and paper, write down how many students and teachers in your daughter. Yes, you want to know the student to teacher ratio. You also want to know if there are any aides in the classroom given the student teacher ratio. Now, if you're in Massachusetts, like New York, you can have 8 students in a classroom and just 1 special ed teacher. When you start getting up to 12 students in a classroom, you have to have a teacher and an aide. Okay. So, and that's in the regs. And Barbara's right. Class. It's very important too, because you want to know, like, you want to say things like, what is the population that's being served in this classroom? Because what your daughter might be getting, excuse me, you guys, I got to beat up my sister. Leftovers. Left. Sorry, guys. So, you know, when they offer you a program, you want to know the population that's being served in that program. Because let's say your kid, you know, your kid is autistic, but your kid doesn't show any behavioral, any aggressive behaviors. But the classroom they're offering has those types of students in it. And if your kid is autistic, then your kid can learn those behaviors. Your kid can learn those behaviors anyway. But you don't want to add salt to the wound. You're already having issues with your kid. You don't want your kid to go into a classroom that serves behaviorally disordered kids. You don't want to put your daughter in a classroom full of boys either. And that really as you get older, that's really important. Okay, the number of male to females, the age in Massachusetts, you can have a kid in a classroom. They can be 48 months apart in age. Okay, so keep that in mind. So you might want to ask, you know, what are these kids, you know, how old are some of these kids? And they're going to say stupid crap like, well, we can't really give that information. Yes, you can. I didn't ask you for anybody's name. I want to know the population served. Don't be stupid. How are you getting to do observations during COVID? Both public and Head Start are not allowing it in Quincy. There is a workaround. If your kid is doing virtual school, do it then. What's she gonna say? No. I mean, if you're not doing observations, and you tell, well, good, I'll just do a virtual observation, and they can just put you in all of the classes. It's a camera. It's a $13 tripod, and you put your phone on it. Easy peasy. When they say they can't do it, that's what you tell them. Look, there's nothing in the law. You guys have to think. You tell the school. You have to think outside of the box. You can't tell me you're not going to let me do an observation because you people don't like technology, and it's just an excuse because they don't want you in their school. No way. They don't want you seeing nothing. Spot check the files. All right, please attach this to the file board. Yeah, what you have to do with your files, guys, this is what I tell a lot of parents when I first take their case. I tell my parents to get the first time I take the case, I say, do you have your kids' records? Yes. Or they'll say no. If they don't have the kids' records, I say, here, write this up, send it over. They tell them you want it. Now, if you get a copy of the records, you can get them for free if your kid is getting free or reduced lunch. The school district does have the right to charge you if you're outside of that limitation, okay? That standard. If your kid isn't getting free or reduced lunch, they can charge you, okay? But they can't charge you for labor, for putting it together. It's under, I think it's 99. It's under the FERPA regs, okay? I can get you that if you want to know. But what I tell my clients is if they've never seen the records, what I want you guys to do is you go down, you make an appointment, and you say, I want to review the record. And they have to bring out the record to you and you review it. Now, what I tell my parents to do is I want you to mark every single one of those pages in there. Okay? Mark all of them. Put something on there with the date that you saw it, that only you would know what it meant. Put it in a spot where only you know where it is. Okay? Then when you go to review, then you tell them you want a copy of everything in the file. Everything. Okay? Everything. You want a copy of. Anything with your kid's name on it, you want a copy of it. And they have to give it to you. Anything that has personally identifiable information, they have to give it to you. Once you get the records, then you sit down and you separate the records. Okay. You separate the records. You take out correspondence. Oh, and you ask for the emails too. Emails is part of your kid's record. It has your kid's name on it. You want all the emails too. All the emails between teachers, talk about your kid, any correspondence between you and them. You want all of that. So when you get a copy of the record, you separate the records. You make sure you have all the IEPs together. You make sure you have all the amendments to the IEPs together. You put the newest one in front. You put the new, if you do an email, guys, these are my little tricks of the trade. When you do an email to the school, asking them for anything, you make sure that you create an email thread. Because when you go to print that crap out, okay, you'll have one email, all with everything in it from start to finish, okay? Sorry, guys, I gotta... Okay. So you'll have everything in it and you don't have to keep going back and printing the same email. You just print one email or print all of the pages. And then it has the whole conversation going back and forth, which is really cool. Because they don't like that. They like you to take it out and take you all out of sequence. But what you do is there's a way to print that email and attach it to the email you're responding to. Okay. So you just go and you on your email, you make it a record. You save it as a PDF file. It'll come up and it'll ask you to print. Okay. Instead of printing, there's a drop down menu and it'll say save as PDF. Click on that. Save it as a PDF. Save it to your hard drive. Okay. In a folder. Matter of fact, not even. Go get you guys one of these things. Okay. This is what you guys need. Okay. And on the back of it, you can label it. Okay. Like I got to do. I have a label machine, costs $17 at Walmart. Okay. And you label this. Okay. And you put the year, all of the information on here, and you just keep adding years on it because this thing holds a lot of information. This is the best thing ever for parents of children with disabilities, because if you do this right, if you save your stuff right on here, you don't ever have to go searching for a file. Just save the emails to your hard drive. Go get one of these for like $8 at Walmart. Okay. And then start creating folders. And you have an email folder for 2021. Okay. And then you put it in there. You have in that email folder, you also have amendments. If you have an amendment to your kid's IEP. So then you write 2021 amendment. Okay. So that way, all of the IEPs for that year are in that. So then you have another one that says emails. And then you name the emails. This is about records request. Email records request 2021. Okay. And all of it's in a separate, everything's in a separate folder on this. Okay. That's how you guys do it. They have refused virtual observations. There are more than just your child in the class. No. Okay. Girl, this is what you tell me. Because whether you're doing virtually or not, go to, let's share a screen. Let's share a screen, girl. Screen stops. Okay, I got to do this. So now I got to do it again. Screen share. I'm going to show you guys what. Okay, so you said observation, right? Watch this. Okay, I want this one. Okay, so this is what I usually do. I do Control F, and then I go observation. I always wanted to show you guys that. Okay, that's how you find stuff. If you're looking for stuff, this is the these are the federal regulations, guys. Okay, wait, let me go up here. These are the federal regulations I'm always talking about. Okay, so they just told Diane that she can't do it because there's more than every child, blah, 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 blah. So I go to the federal regulations, right? And then I do this. See this right here? So then, well, see this thing up here? Yeah, I do that. It's called Control F, okay? If you do a Control F, that will, this little box, see, I do, watch. On your keyboard, you hit Control F, and that pops up, okay? It's the last one that I did. So then, when that pops up, it says 1. So then you do this. Click on it. Padow! I knew it was this one. So you do this. So see where it says observation. Isn't that funny how that works out? Isn't that funny? Now watch this. So now we're going to close it. Okay. It's my new tricks I just learned. So we're going to go to that. This is observation. Let's see what it says here, Diane. Let's see. So it says the public agency must ensure that the child is observing the child's learning environment, including the regular classroom setting. Go figure. So that first sentence just threw their stuff right out the window. Okay. Then it says, and Massachusetts is infamous for this too, to document the child's academic performance and behavior in the areas of difficulty. Okay. The group described in 300.306 in determining whether a child has a specific learning disability. This is in the event there's a learning disability. Okay. And they must decide to use information from an observation in routine classroom instruction and monitoring of the child's performance that was done before the child was referred for an evaluation, or have at least one member of the group described in 306. 306 is the determination of eligibility law. Okay. It includes everything, honey. Everything. I'll go you one better. Wait, I'm not done. Massachusetts has an observation law too. Okay. Remember, this is 310. Okay. See right here, 310. 310. Okay. In the case of a child of less than school age or out of school, a group member must observe the child. You're part of the group, honey. A group member is a part of the group in the environment appropriate for the child of that age. So that's the federal. There it is right there. Regular class setting. Okay. To document the child's academic. There's nothing in here that says the parent can't come. The parent can't do this. And it's a violation of yada, yada, yada. There's nothing in here about that. So now let's take it one step further. Let's go to Massachusetts. Department of Education observation. Let's see what it says. Observation. What to look for? I know it's in here. Okay, what is 603? What's this? 603. The special education laws in Massachusetts are 603 CMR 28.00. Okay. Now I'm going to go there and see if I can find it in here. See, they're always doing that crap. Oh, wait, let's see. Maybe it's under definitions. Okay, this is Massachusetts website. Okay, definitions. So let me go down here. Let's see. Programs. See, they're slick. They took it out. I hate them. Placement and options, parent involvement. Let's see if it's under there. Let me do this. Okay, I'm going to do my little trick. Control F, observation. Nope, it's not in there. Definitions. Let's do. Okay, how about if I do this? Wait a minute, I'm looking, okay? 603 CMR 28. See it right here, honey? Look. Okay, so we're just not going to do it. Is that it? Look at that mess. Okay, you see it. Okay. I don't know why. It's not doing it right. Okay, there it is right there. Okay, see it? Parents have the rights to observe. 3 parents have the right to observe. It doesn't matter. So there's no 3, there's no 2. It says observation. Okay, so it's not. So I'm going to do it this way. Let me see. There it is. Requirement assessments. Okay, there it is right there. That's the only one they have. When a child is being assessed to determine eligibility for service at the age of 3, an observation, that's more than that, though. That's not true. There's another one. Observation. Population. Now, let's see, because it was here. Massachusetts is slick. They love to take things out. Education laws. An observation of the child's intent. There it is. Oh, it's 71B. 71B is also, what did this thing just do? Chapter 71B is a special ed law. Observation law requires the school districts access program. Okay. Oh, here's an advisory. Okay, just like, there we go. The observation law requires that school districts permit access to program that is of sufficient duration and extent to accomplish the purpose of the visit. That's you, honey. Okay, let me tell you what's this. Technical, okay, this is the one it is. All right, technical assistance. This is the state's version of the OSEP letters. Okay, this actually exists in all schools, guys. Okay, so in Massachusetts, they put out technical assistance advisory SPED 2009 too. Okay, asked to record the time. Okay, so here, so the introduction. Here, this whole thing is about observation. School districts need to implement an efficient and effective process to consider and respond to observation requests so that the parents and designees obtain timely access to education programs. Okay, so let me see what I can do. Wait. So this whole thing talks about this. They make me sick. I'm going to see if I can print it. I mean, save it as a PDF. If I can save it, then I'll give it to you. See, it's going to do that whole thing. Stupid. No. See, there was back in the day, you could actually get this advisory and you could print it. But they're slick. They don't want you printing this crap. Okay. Technical assistance. Anytime you want to find out something. Okay. Here, I'm going to put it right here. Okay. So it's under Massachusetts Department of Education and Elementary, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And it is technical assistance. This is what you have to type in. I'm going to try it too. Advisory, SPED, because there's also guidance ones. Okay, 2009-2. And it's on, okay, observation of education programs. Here it is right here. By parents and their designees for evaluation purposes. So, okay. All you have to say is you're thinking about just trying to get another evaluation, and you need to determine. They're going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. I don't have to do that. What you have to do, you tell them, is this: pursuant to that regulation, during sufficient duration and extent, timely access, obligation to provide timely access to the program for purposes of observation is a core component of the observation law. Where is this? Oh, here it is, right here. Here's the observation law. So cool. I'm so dumb. Sorry, guys. Okay. Observation law. What is this? I hate when they do that. See, they send you over there. 63, that January effective. The observation law can be found at, okay, so what you have to do is you have to go here and do this. Let me see if I can find it. Well, there it is. The fourth paragraph of section 3 of chapter 71B. This is chapter 71. Oh, yeah, chapter 71B. Okay. That's special ed law. Okay. Yes. No, they have to, anything they do, they have to provide you. You tell them, here's when I'm available, Barbara. And this is when they have to do it. Okay. Everything about a date and a time is mutually convenient. Everything has to be mutually convenient. Okay. Even if you're asking to do the observation. Okay. Access to information for parents of a child with special needs. The fourth paragraph of chapter 71B. Let me go look up that. Of the laws as appearing in 2006 edition, yada, yada, yada. Here it is. Upon request by a parent provide timely access to parents and parent designated independent evaluators and educational consultants for observations of a child's current program and of any proposed for the child. So you could do this, okay? Including both academic and non-academic of any such program. Honey, all you have to do is this. What the hell? Fix your ass. Here. Here, honey. That's what you do, okay? Tell them that, okay? Here, cite that technical assistance thing, and then cite this chapter. This is going to bug them out. 363 of the Acts of 2008 is where, you tell them, is where the observation law can be found. Then you give them this link, because see, I'm a bee. Oh, honey, I did all of that. Here, copy. Okay, so that's what you're going to say to them. Okay, and then here's the link. Okay, there's the link to the observation law in Massachusetts. Okay, and let me see. That's where the law is, and that's where that letter is, the technical assistance letter. That's where that is. That's the link I just gave you. Okay. So tell them to bite you, and tell them, and then just say, now, I strongly suggest. This is what you tell them. I strongly suggest that you give me a date and a time. Here's when I'm available. And if not, you need to put that in writing again, because I'm going to file against you. Because you're denying me the right to observe my child in the classroom. Why? Why would you do that? They're going to say, well, that's all of what you just said. You tell them all that stuff you told me about the kid and all of that stuff, and virtually you can't do it. Yeah, none of that is in the law. So you're telling me you're going to violate the state and federal laws. Now bite me and you lose my child again, find a really good lawyer. That's what you do, girl. Exactly. I don't give a. It's none of my business. Get him, girl. That's what you do. It's exactly what you do. That's what I'm talking about. When you guys want to know something, when you come to my trainings, I'm telling you, this new system that I'm using, this new program, I love it. The other one used to crash. Every time I did what I just did with you guys, letting you see this thing, every time I did that, it crashed. I had to shut it down. I had to pick it back up. You guys couldn't see it. Could you see what I just did? Did you see that thingy? Okay. Now, the other thing you could do is, there's another thing. Okay. So this is called the Patent Pennsylvania Training and Technical Assistance Network. Now, instead of going to, OSEP's website, you can go to Pennsylvania's website to get the OSEP letters. Oh, yeah. See, right here. You just type in right here, okay? And you go observation. And then you hit filter. So cool. See? And then you do like this. And looky, there's all the letters. These are the letters. And see, this is what they call it, observation. Okay? I don't know what that means, but you click on view, okay? Okay, and I got to show you. Whoops. Okay. And this is what comes up. So it talks about the scenario. Okay. These are all different letters. People have, like, this person wrote into OSEP. This is OSEP, Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services. Okay. Where's the P? The P's not there. I just realized that. Okay. Anyway, this is a lawyer from New Jersey asking OSEP a question. Okay. And it says the OSEP's responding. This is in response to your September 2012 electronic email. This is what I do. When I tell you guys to do this, send you what link, honey? I already did. Here. Where you want me to send it? I can't. I'll put it in here. Okay. On the bottom. I'll put that link. Shoot. Let This letter right here to OSAP. Okay, wait. This is all you have to do, honey. I don't know. You got to read these letters because just because it says observation, you want to make sure that the letter matches what you want to do. Okay, this one it says right here. See right here? It says you asked for clarification regarding 2 scenarios. The first pertaining to the dispute resolution procedures, 507, and the second pertaining to observations conducted as part of an independent eval. Okay, so there's question 1, and there's their response. So let's go down to what we're talking about. Question 2. Where the parents of a student with a disability have selected an evaluator. See, remember what I just read, you guys? Keep that in mind, what I just read. Okay. For the purpose of conducting an IE at public expense pursuant to 300.502, may the LEA prohibit the evaluator from observing the child in an educational setting or limit the observation by requiring that all of the evaluators' questions be pre-approved by the LEA Council. They're smoking some serious weed. I love it. I just love it. Anyway, so OSAP says, well, let's take a look at that. OSAP's response, Section 502 of Part B regulations requires that if an IEE is at public expense, the criteria under which the evaluation is obtained, including the location of the evaluations and the qualifications of the examiner, must be the same as the criteria that the public agency uses when it initiates an evaluation. To the extent those criteria are consistent with the parent's rights to an IEE. Further, as stated in the analysis of comments and changes section of the August 14, 2006 final Part B regulations, the purpose of an evaluation under IDEA is to determine whether the child is a child with a disability in the case of an IDEA, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Then they tell you where to find it in the Federal Register. And then it says the determination must be made on a case by case whether a public agency criteria prevent an evaluator from fulfilling these purposes. Okay, so under 502, okay, under the law, I'll just give you guys a quickie on this one. But they didn't do the observation right because they tied it to the independent evaluation. So under 502, the school district cannot impose any restrictions or limitations as to how the independent evaluation is going to be done. And their districts, their district's criteria. Okay. And once that happens, now there's a whole nother thing going on, which they do that. They say wild, crazy stuff about, well, you can't I love New York. A while back, we were in a hearing with, the parent asked school district in New York, same one, if she wanted an independent evaluation done. So in New York, in Massachusetts, okay, they do it used to be called the rate setting commission standards. So as long as you're basically what it is as long as your independent evaluator accepts the rate setting commission standards for an evaluation, you're good. Okay, it doesn't matter where the evaluator is coming from, none of that. But in New York, it does matter apparently. So in New York, they put a mileage criteria of 250 miles. And then they gave this parent, it's my favorite story. They gave their parent a list of all of these evaluators because the mother gave them a list of her evaluators that she found. And they said no, because all of them were too far away. They were over 250 miles away. So now we have a problem because the mother, so I told the mother, go call all of those people. Call them all. Find out where they are. Find out all about them. So let me tell you this. We go to the hearing. One of the evaluators is dead. Been dead for 10 years. It's my favorite story. This is on a list. This woman's name for the district's criteria to do an independent evaluator. Okay. So under 502, the school district is mandated to give you a list of names, to help the parents out in case you want to do it. I strongly advise against using anybody on the school district's list because they're in the back pockets of the school district. They've done it before. So when they give you a list, go find yourself your own. But in New York, because of the situation, because they have a district's criteria. And so the mother's evaluators were outside of that. So we had to argue, what was wrong with their evaluators. Well, I gave him the list and I said, "Do you see that person's name on it?" She said, "Yes." Mary Tilly. I don't know what her name was. She said, "Yes." I said, she's dead, right? I did like that. That woman's dead. You put her name on a list and she's dead. When's the last time you revised this list? She said, "Only a couple of years ago." I said, "Well, this woman's been dead for 10 years. I'm thinking she can't do it." I don't know. Call me stupid. So then we went to a couple of more. And every single one of them, there was a problem. Several of them were retired. A few of them didn't even live in the state anymore, which was their big issue with the mother. Oh, no, they can't be out of state. So a couple of them were out of state. Some of them didn't even have a license to practice anymore. Talk about smoke. Yes. Puff given all day long. Oh, my God. They're crazy. Okay. So she ended up, the parent, because there was everything wrong. One guy said, "I'll do it. I haven't done it in a long time, and I don't know how to use those tools, but I'll do it." He was 81. He'd been out of the field for years. It's not like he's 81, because, I could see me doing this one. I'm 81. I don't have a problem doing that. If you see my mother, you'll know why. She's fit as a fiddle. I can still do this, okay? So I'm not afraid. I can see somebody doing an evaluation in their 80s, as long as they've kept up with science, the instruments, because they have to be able to at least, follow the federal regulations. We're like, "No, thank you." So she ended up getting the evaluations done by her people because we proved that their criteria was poo-poo caca, which is what they were talking about in that previous letter. Okay. As they can't lay down restrictions that are impossible to meet and then force you to use their people, and one's dead. Dead. It's hilarious. I love it. Anywho, that's what they do to me. They make me laugh. So, but here, I'm going to do this again. So this is what you'll see. When you go to this website, you just type in, so you'll get all of these right here are letters. So what you have to do is, this is your proof. This is what helps you in your case. Okay. OSEP, this is OSEP. These are OSEP's letters, their policy letters on that agency's regulations. So it carries a lot of weight. Okay. They can't go against OSEP. Remember, OSEP holds the purse strings for these little schools and the state. So they can't make a decision and say, you can't do that. Okay, now I got to remember, Diane. Okay, so you want me, I'm just going to leave all of this stuff up on my computer, and then can I inbox you? Can you get it that way? I don't know. How can you get it? If I do an instant message, can you get the links that way? Or I can put them on the bottom of my YouTube channel too, because it's being simulcast. This training is simulcast, so you'll be able to get the links there if you want. Okay, cool. So I'll put all of the links for all of these sites that I'm pulling up and these laws, just so you guys know it. All of these links. See if you can see what I'm doing. See what I'm doing up here? All of this stuff right here. I'm going to have a link for all of it. Okay. So that way you guys, if you want it, you can see it. But see, here it is. This one was 2018. This would be a good one. Let's see what this says. Is that the same one I just opened? Because I'm crazy. Oh, no, this is a new one. Okay, this is 2018. Electronic mail, yada, yada, yada. Okay. In that letter, you ask whether a public agency may, see, this is what I'm talking about, may limit the time of an independent evaluator is allotted to observe the child in the child's educational setting when the evaluator is paid by the parent and not by the public agency. We regret the delay in responding. Okay. So Sections, they talk about the idea, issuing policy then for compliance. Okay. Therefore, based on the requirements, here I am right here. Okay. It says, whoops. Okay, good. Therefore, based on the requirements of IDEA, this response is provided as informal guidance and not legal. In OSEPs, okay, so what they do is they'll refer to some other letter they wrote, okay? So OSEP wrote another letter on February 10th, 2014, letter to Savitt, okay? In that letter, OSEP explained the idea and its implementing regulations do not provide a general entitlement for third parties, including attorneys and educational advocates, to observe children in their current classrooms or proposed educational placement. The determination of individuals may have access to classrooms may be addressed by state or policies. Now, in Massachusetts, we have that law. So that's what they're saying is IDEA is silent on it, other than the law that I showed you, which is 310, which says for evaluation purposes, the advocate or the evaluators can do an assessment, can do an observation of your kid in the classroom. Now, that's okay. So, then it says, however, we recognize in letter to Savitt that there are times when independent evaluators may need to have access to classrooms if the parents of a child with a disability invoke their right to an independent eval of their child under yada yada, and the evaluation requires observing their child. Because a lot of times, I know this is hard to believe, but a lot of times part of an evaluator's evaluation, especially the independents, not so much the schools, because I mean, they do FBAs. They don't even interview the parent. That's not even part of the evaluation in a lot of cases. I mean, when they do a BASC, the behavior assessments, half the time they don't even include the parent to do the checklist with them, or the kid for that matter. They just let the teacher do it. And there's a reason for that. If you limit the amount of people that are doing the actual evaluation thing, or you limit how the evaluation's getting done, guess what? You're going to have a limited amount of information. And that's what they want, because 9 times out of 10, they're violating the kids' rights. So anyway, so under 502, IEE means an evaluation conducted by a qualified evaluator who is not employed by the school district, as responsible for the child in question. Generally, the purpose of an evaluation under IDEA is to determine whether the child is a child with a disability, and in the case of a re-eval, whether the child continues to be a child with a disability. And then it says, as noted above, depending on the individual needs of the child, an evaluation conducted in accordance with the procedures under 304 through 311 may require observing the child in his or her educational placement. So, in determining whether a child has a specific yada, yada, yada. So, what OSEP does is they constantly refer back to their laws. And then they go right here. In determining whether a child has a specific learning disability, the public agency must ensure the child is observed, okay, in the child's learning environment, including the regular ed classroom, to document yada, yada, yada. But see, in Massachusetts, they took it to the next level, okay? Now, and that made it, see, states cannot create laws that hinder a parent's ability to access special education or your child, but they can make it even better. So state laws can be even better than federal regs. And that's what they did in Massachusetts when it comes to the observation laws. Okay. So this letter speaks to an IEE. And as it relates to an independent evaluator, observing your kid in the classroom. And what you do in Massachusetts is you tell your independent evaluator that you want them to. And the reason why is, okay, for instance, one time, so bad. I love the way this goes, bounce back and forth so easy. One time I had a kid in Brockton. I had a lot of kids in Brockton. The lawyer hated me in Brockton. She's like, damn, because a lot of my kids were in private schools because they were dumb. So anywho, so my client was developmentally challenged, and where they hope you are dumb, and yeah, They hope you're dumb, and then they get offended when you're not. But they do that everywhere. They literally get offended. How dare you? How dare you know that? And then I tell them, reading is fundamental, right? Did you ever see that Schoolhouse Rock show? Reading is fundamental. Anywho, so my guy, the school agrees to do an independent evaluation. I said, I want you to go see that kid. Well, that was part of his evaluation. Are parents supposed to sign consent form to do? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Just so we're clear, and I'll get back to that story. Anytime the school people want to do an evaluation specifically on your kid, they need consent. Now, if your kid was taking the MCAS in your state, Julie, I don't know what state you're in, but if your kid is taking the state test with everybody else, then you don't need consent. That's the only time they don't need consent. If they're doing an FBA, they need consent. It's an evaluation. It's an evaluation, and it's under IDEA. Yeah. It's an evaluation that's in the IDEA regulations. Okay. Functional behavior assessment. So yes, they do, because it's all about your kid. Everything in there is about your kid. Okay. Ohio, yes. I used to live there too. So yes, they need consent. And if they don't, they need to show you. Anytime these people tell you guys they don't need your consent, you tell them, good. Put that in writing. I need to see what law you're relying on, because that's an evaluation with just my kid's name on it. And I can show you 10 laws that say, unless you're doing this for every kid in the school, you need go ahead and do it. I dare you. Dare you do it. That's what you do. Okay. Wendy, what? Tell them to see how the I just lost it. Tell them to eat and die. Tell them whatever. Good. Blame me. Yes, that's what I do. I have nothing else to do. Tell them, yes, I have nothing else to do. I'm in the hospital, right? And you want me to call the BCBA? I tell you what, the BCBA better know how to do their job, because I'm all set. Okay. I'm in the hospital. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, the reason why doing an evaluation and observation during an independent evaluation, or any evaluation for that matter, because you don't have to just observe the kid for an independent evaluation. All the evaluations should be observed, especially like FBAs. Okay. And they don't do any of them right. I don't even know BCBAs that are working for schools that are doing it right. And it's so irritating for the amount of money I just had to pay to go to school to be a BCBA. And they're not doing any of it. I'm so disgusted I can't even see straight. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. So anyway, I hope I answered your question. You go, girl. Diane. Okay, Wendy. I have to go. Thank you. No problem, girl. See you later, Paula. So anyway, what was I going to say? So my client, this is why they don't like doing observations. Okay. So my client, yes, Barbara, my client's sitting in the classroom. Okay. She's in the wrong program. First of all, she was supposed to be moved. She was only supposed to be there for a short period of time. All of the kids in there are behaviorally no, wait. Those kids were behaviorally disordered, but they weren't cognitively challenged. She was supposed to be in another classroom for her peers. Okay. They put her someplace else. So they're doing regular ed in the classroom. So my client's got her head down on a desk. Everybody in the classroom is afraid of her because she hits people. She don't like you. She'll hit you. She don't care. And she was a big girl. She was a big girl. Okay. And so my guy, my neuropsych sitting in the classroom, he told me this. He's sitting in the classroom and my client's got her head on the desk. And nobody is telling her to pick her head up. So the guy, the assistant sped director, comes in to observe the independent evaluator I had, my neuropsych. So he's coming in to watch her. He was floored. He was like, what? So everything that was being taught was way over her head. She didn't know what the hell they were talking about. And that's what he put in his report, which means they were screwed, because right after that, I got my kid in a private placement where she remained until she aged out for like 6 years. 6 years she was in that program. It was a day program. They had to pay transportation and they had to pay full tuition, which was approximately between $60,000 and $80,000 a year, plus 35% of the special ed budget just in transportation. So the reason why they don't like that is everybody says, oh no, if they go do an observation, then the school's going to do everything perfect. Yeah, they might be doing everything perfect, but here's the thing. They can't control your kid. They can't guarantee that your kid is going to act right with the evaluator there. Or that your kid's not going to be looking around when they should be doing their work. Okay? So when parents say to me, yeah, but they're not there to evaluate the school people. They're not there to evaluate the teacher. They're there, and that's what I tell people. When you guys go do an observation of your kid, you're supposed to be looking at your kid. Don't look at what the teacher's doing. Okay? Nobody cares. You're not there evaluating her. You want to know if the teacher's telling your kid to open their science book and turn to page 6 and to do the work, read 3 pages, and then do the questions. You want to make sure your kid is following those directions. And if your kid's not, is anybody helping your kid? Like somebody should have went over to that kid. The assistant special ed director had to go tell the teacher to go tell my client to lift her head up. And my guy saw him do it. So of course it went in the report, which proved my point. She shouldn't have been in that damn class in the first place. So now homie girl has skipped her little happy butt right over to a private school where she stayed there for 6 years. Nobody cares. I don't care nothing about it. I don't care how much money you spent. I don't care what you had to do. And I still took them to hearing because they were still screwing up. So that's why the schools don't like you to see what's going on, because they may be able to control the teacher and the teacher might do everything right. The problem isn't what if the teacher is doing anything right. The problem is the teacher doing what your kid needs them to do. Because if your kid's not getting nothing, your kid's not doing, you go there for an observation and the class is going on, everybody's doing their work, and your kid is playing with paper and, watching flies go by and playing with their pen and clicking it and doing everything but the work. And the teacher's not doing anything, or the teacher is constantly going over to your kid. That's a problem. That's too much redirection. So that means there's either something missing in the IEP. That needs it may mean another evaluation needs to be done. It may mean that your kid needs to sit closer to the teacher. It may be that your kid don't belong in that classroom. Easy peasy. That's why they don't want you in the school. And that's why they don't want to do it virtually either. And there's probably, I need you for my quiz. Honey, I'm cheap, girl. Wish you could afford me. I'm cheap. I'm not expensive. Okay. Oh, forgot to tell you guys something. In Massachusetts, okay, if your kid is anywhere on the autism spectrum, I mean anywhere, PDD, NOS, Asperger's, autism, I don't care. And it might even include, you can go to this website. It's called, let me see if I can find it. It's really cool. You can get a grant from me. Okay. Yeah. I do it all the time. It's called, let me see, mddc.org. See if I can find it. Okay. Oh, shoot. Why is it? Okay. What it is Massachusetts Disabilities something. No, it's not the one. That's not it. It's the Massachusetts Disabilities. Robert, do you remember? There it is. I got it. So you can get up to $250 for an advocate. Okay. It's a grant. So here it is right here. Okay. This is only in Massachusetts. I don't know about you guys, but there's organizations like this in every single state. Okay. So what you do is this. Oh, stop it. Okay. I'm going to show you this page. Okay. There it is right there. Okay. So now, let's see. Contact us. I want to search. Okay. So grants. Oh, I want to search this organization. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay. Where is it, Barbara? It's on this website. I gotta find it. They offer grants. One of them is the Flug one, the football player guy. And to fun of empowering people with disabilities, enjoy the families. Contact us. Here it is. Grants. There it is. Okay, you see what I did? See what I did, you people? You guys in Massachusetts, see, look. You don't go on that. So it says, I want to. When you go to this website, it says, I want to. Okay. And there's accessibility and disability grants. Find grants, fellowships, and other forms of funding to improve lives of the disabled. Okay. Doug Flutie. Yes. Thank you. Okay. So now when you go to this website, you want to go to the Council Empowerment Funds Program. Okay. You click on that. This is so cool. Okay. And here it is right there. This grant program has people with developmental disabilities. So I'm wrong. It's not autism. I'm wrong. It's developmental disabilities. Any kid. And it says this grant reimburses up to $250. Okay. $250. Here we go. Okay. Of your expenses to attendance relevant conferences. That could be me. Or other events held in Massachusetts. This program empowers the blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's for events. Individual. What if Harry is still there? Individual disabilities. You can only receive funds for an approved event once within a 2-year period. Yada, yada, yada. This is everything that you can do. Okay. So, I don't know what that is. Okay. So you can go on there, apply. And here it is right here. See, apply for the fund. Whoops, I gotta shut this off. Okay. So now we're going to go to the thing, to the application. Okay. I'm going to show you. Okay. How to apply. You'll need a copy of a brief summary. There's another one though. I thought they might have changed it, but to apply for empowerment funds. How to apply next steps. Okay, downloads. Council state plan objective to which is related to. Okay. I don't know what that is. But anyhow, that's just one of them. You can also call the ARC and they'll tell you if there's any grants available too. Okay. But I thought they might have changed it unless this is where the Doug Flutie one was. I want to see if part of self-action one. Barbara, is this the one that you used? Okay, let's try this one. Barbara. That's another grant. All of these are grants. Okay, well, I think so. Fellowship, one part. Oh. $20 a week, annual stipend. That's something else. Okay, so you can go on there. I'm just telling you where the money is. So you can go on there and you can ask them, could it be used for anything else? Okay. Top task. Here's another grant. Wait, municipal ADA. I think that's for a town. Americans with Disability Act grant supports capital improvements. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, you go to this website and then you call them up. Okay. Phillips grant, Barbara. Yeah. See, I don't know where that is now. I'm going to put Massachusetts. Yep, there it is. There's another one. See, guys, this is how you find stuff. Okay, if you want a grant to pay me, county offer what? Free psychologist to observe my son's behaviors. Free psychologist. I still haven't just used the county. Who's the county? Okay, see, guys, this one's in the town of Marshfield in Plymouth County. Financial need. Download the application. See, you guys can get money. Okay, so don't think I'm too expensive, but I can help you find these different things. Okay. Anywho, over here. So, yes, the ARC of Greater Plymouth website. Oh, okay. So that's what you do. Go to your ARC, and you can find out a lot of information. Okay. Usually they'll have grants and stuff like that for people. So, yeah, when you're doing the observations, don't be afraid. Now, if the school's doing it, then that's when you have to worry, because when the school does it, the school will pretend that they're not seeing what they're seeing. Okay. Or they'll lie about what they're seeing. That's why usually what I tell parents, go with them. You want to see what they're seeing at the same time, because a lot of times, like when you're taking a tour, for instance, of a private school, then what they'll do is the school representative will go and you'll go. Okay. So you can do the same thing within your school district. You can say, well, I want to go and I'm bringing so-and-so. I've done that before. And you bring your little pad of paper. You know what you're looking for when you go in there. So you want to know what your kid is doing. And I think let me see something. Now I got to see something else. Now I'm getting it. This is real cool. Okay, wait. This is a thing that I saw a while ago in Massachusetts that I thought was really, really cool. And it's a list, a checklist that you can use when you're going to visit schools. And it's in this book. And I said, wow, that's really cool for all parents to use. Because even if you're not going, even if your kid's not going to a private school, these are things that you need to know that you can ask in the school that your kid is in the public school. So, I'm in the school. Let me see if I can find it for parents. Planning after program checklist. Ooh, I love it when a plan comes together. Find a school. Where's the program checklist? JRI, that's my old company. Find a school, advocate, sign up. That's what I want. I used to work for this company in Massachusetts called JRI, Justice Resource Institute. They have a lot to do with this kind of stuff. Where'd it go? Find a school for parents. This is a checklist, hopefully. Special education, all programs. Okay. Oh, here it is. I have to download it. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this. Okay. This is a checklist. So when you're going to go do an observation in a school, these are some of the things you want to ask. Okay. So you'll say, in comparing programs and facilities that serve exceptional children, the following are suggested questions and topics to be considered. Where is the program located? Okay. Travel time from home. Isn't it? This is all stuff. Here's what I'm talking about. What student population does the program serve? Love this thing. I'm going to download it. I'm going to save it to my desktop because I know you guys are going to want. You guys want this? You guys want this paper? It tells you what to look for when you're doing an observation. It's really cool. This is what I do with you guys. When I go to advocate, these are the things that I do. Okay. Save. Desktop. Okay. All right, cool. All right. I just saved it to my, I'm going to leave it up again. But this is cool. See, remember what I told you guys before? What student population does the program serve? So if your kid is in a significantly separate program within your kid's school, then wait, I'm going to do this. Is that too little? Can you guys see it? I really need you to see this, not me. Stupid. Anyway, where was that list at? Okay. It's on. Okay. Type in your browser maps. That's the Massachusetts Approved Association Private Schools. Something like that. Okay. It's called this. You type in maps. Okay. Here it is right here. This is what I want you to do. Copy. Here's a link. Okay. Okay. What this page is all about, it's all about the program. Okay. When you're doing ed, no, it's a company. It's not ed. It's, where is it? Oh, wait, I have to go backwards and I'll find it. It's maps.org. Yes. This is the website. Okay. And this can be used for everybody. So when you go to the website, okay, maps.org, where it says for parents, go down where it says program checklist. You see that? You guys all see that? Okay. You click on program checklist. Okay. And you scroll down and padow. There it is. You download the link. Okay. No problem, girl. Okay. So now we'll look at it. All right. So here, this is what it is. This is what it is. See, this checklist has been developed by the Massachusetts. That's what it is. I always say it wrong. The Massachusetts Association of 766 Approved Private Schools, MAPS. Chapter 766 used to be the old Massachusetts Special Education Regulations, Chapter 766. And this is approved private schools for kids with disabilities. That's what that means. To provide parents with the means of evaluating various special education programs that may offer services for their child. It is meant as an objective guide to help the decision-making process of selecting a program for their child may attend. And then these are the things you keep in mind. All programs are unique and offer positive educational options. No. As parents, you are encouraged to visit the programs, yada, yada, yada. I told you all about that. But this is what you need, okay? Print this out before you go do an observation, okay? If you print this out before you, or save it on whatever you're using, you can just run through all of these questions. So you go there and you say, where is the location of the program, okay? What is the travel time from home? How far away? I live here. How far away is that, okay? Is it a day program? Now, this is very important. If it's a day program, the number of days a year, because when your kid is in a private school, I don't care what state you're in, 9 times out of 10, your kid goes to school for 216 days rather than, I think it's 180. The 216 days, most private schools for kids with special needs, they have to attend the summer program. They're automatically in the summer, unless you say, I don't want it. Okay. So you want to know the number of days a year. Okay. If it's a day, whether it's a day or a residential, but the next question is it a residential? And the length of the school day. Now, the length of the school day may be different from what your kid is in right now in a public school. Your kid might go to school until 3:00. And then your kids put on a bus and they take them home. And then you say, is it a residential? And the number of days a year your kid's in a residential. Now, this is important because the residential school is the same, that your kid is in school, almost every day. I think it's 240 days a year because your kid lives there too. So your kid is also there on the weekends. Now, sometimes they're not because your kid comes home on the weekends. Okay. Your kid is not required. If your kid is going to a residential placement, your kid is not court ordered to stay at the school. He's not in jail. Okay. Schools like to make believe that because your kid's in a residential, they have all kind of say. That's a lie, Craig. Okay. They don't. Unless your kid is court ordered, your kid can come home every single weekend. Okay. Now, unless you don't want to. Okay. Now, there may be reasons why your kid doesn't come home every weekend if your kid's in a residential. And the reason could be due to safety. Okay. If your kid is in a residential program, there's some serious issues going on. Okay. Serious issues, behavior issues, psychological issues that are prohibiting your child from coming home because you don't have the same structure that your kid needs. And let me tell you something. A lot of these kids, when they go home for the weekend, sometimes they fall apart before they even get in the house. It's because they know that if they're in a residential program, they're secure. They actually know this. I've seen it happen. But you also want to know the number of days. Does the program have a summer program? There it is, but out. How long is the summer program? Usually a private school, it starts July like 7th and it ends like 2 weeks before Labor Day. Okay. Usually. Do you have extended day options? How many days a week and the hours and all of that? Okay. So you ask all of those questions right out the gate. Okay. You fill in all of this information before you get there. There's top information right here. You fill that all in. Okay. Then it says, what population does the program serve? Okay. So when they ask you, because they're dumb, they like to play like they don't know what you're talking about. When you say, I've used this term a lot and this is why. Okay. After 25 years of doing this, there's the autism population. And then there's the population that for children who have psychological issues. And then there's a population for children who are behaviorally disordered. So there's populations. Now there's some schools that handle a lot of different populations. The private schools, they'll handle a lot of populations at the same time. So you want to know what they are because these are determining factors for you. Okay. So, and the ages of the student, you want to know that too. Now, a lot of these programs, sometimes they'll tell you, we only have all boys in this program right now. And you have a girl. Do you want your girl in there? You don't want your girl in there because now you're going to find out what these little boys are. You know, what's going on up, what's going on. That's what you need to know. So you have to ask these questions. Does the program serve males and females? Okay. What stated population does this program serve? And then you say, oh, and when they say, well, I don't know what you mean. Okay. Is that acquired brain injury, anxiety? You know what they're going to ask you? Where'd you get that? Never you mind. I got it. You don't need to know where I got stuff. How come you don't have it? How come you don't know what stated population does the program serve? This is your program, right? You don't know what population you serve. They know. They don't want to tell you. And if they don't want to tell you, that tells me a lot. Okay. Anytime they're having a problem answering some of these questions, that tells you stuff. Okay. But do you see all of this? Look, fire setter behaviors. Okay. I had a little boy who burned down his whole friggin' house. He burned it down to the ground. Went to a team meeting and he said he didn't want to put the kid in a residential. I said, good. I looked at the mother. I said, aren't you homeless now? We burned down your house. She said, yes. I said, why don't you move next door to him? He got mad. He got mad. He wanted to leave. So this tells you a lot. Psychotic disorder, Prader-Willi. All disabilities are not the same. They're not the same. A language-based learning disability with a child that has dyslexia or maybe deaf and hard of hearing, attention deficit disorder, like anxiety disorder. Now, those kids could all be in one program. Okay. They could all be in one program and that would be okay. But I would not put a fire setter in with a child with a language-based learning disability or with a juvenile offender. I'm not doing that. And all my client has is, ADD, executive functioning disorder, and attention deficit disorder. I'm not putting my kid in a program that has those types of kids in it. That's bad. Reactive attachment disorder. That's not good. You don't want to put your kid in there unless your kid falls into those parameters. Okay. And you can ask your doctor. This is the program, and you can put a checkbox next to everything they said the program has. Okay. See, severe maladaptive behavior. If your kid is not exhibiting any maladaptive behaviors, you do not want to subject your child to that. With my kid in preschool, will this include only preschool kids? Or Everything, honey, everything. If you want to know what yes, because, okay, this is what I want you to understand. This list of kids is not just for private schools. These are kids that are in our public school settings. The reason why I know that is because I've gotten them out and put them in the proper setting, because the schools don't care. They don't care if your kid is exhibiting sexualized behavior towards other girls and women. They don't care. They don't care if your kid is tackling a kid and a little girl and dropping her to the ground and hitting her head on the thing. And this actually happened to me. Okay, they don't care. They don't care. So all of these kids could be in your public school. I live in housing. I know kids in my area that are, yes, they shouldn't be in there. If housing knew, they wouldn't have those kids there. It's bad. That's real bad. And the kid that started the fire that burned down the house, they told me they weren't going to put him in the program that I wanted. They were going to put him in this other program that was in the woods. And I said, I'll tell you what. You do that, and I'm calling the state fire marshal. Housing knows that's because they're stupid, honey. But I told this guy, I said, it's not a problem. I ended up calling the fire marshal, and I told him about my client, what the school wanted to do with the mother's permission. And they said, absolutely not. It's Quincy. Wait a minute. Oh, no. My kid was in Fairhaven. He was in Fairhaven. It's Quincy. I know they're not changing. They're stupid. Call the state fire marshal. They'll have something to say about that. They'll have something to say about that. That's what I had to do. I contacted the state fire marshal. They gave me a letter and I gave it to the school. I said, go ahead. And I told them they want to put these kids in Miles Standish. It was a program, a Miles Standish, way up in the woods. I said, have you lost your damn mind? What part of he's a fire setter? Don't you understand, stupid? I said, he's staying at the school. We had him there for the diagnostic. But this is what 2 apartments have burnt down in 2 years. Yeah, see? You need to, yeah. If you feel threatened by that kid, you call the state fire marshal and you tell them what you know. And they'll go right over there and find out what's going on. I'm telling you. Because they couldn't put him on. Once I told him what they were going to do, he said absolutely not. He cannot go to that school. And he ended up in the school I wanted him to, which was in the middle of a town somewhere. No trees. But these kids are all in your public schools. Okay, so this is why this is a cool list, because it lists everything. Okay, whether it's a private school or public school. If they're going to put your kid in a program, you need to know it's a group of kids. You need to know the population that classroom or program is serving. Okay, because you got to make sure your kid is the right fit. All right. And then it says down here, is the program licensed by the state agencies, Department of Elementary, Early Education and Care for residential and or other accreditations. What accreditations is the program? This is very important because if your kid graduates from there, can your kid get a diploma from them, a certified diploma? The other school funnel them to by my house. Yeah, I'm telling you, call the state fire marshal, give them a list of those kids' names and say that they are fire, you believe they're fire setters, and that what would other be? Other would be it's a private company, they own it themselves. You don't want your kid in any kind of program like that. The only program that you want your kids in are programs that are licensed by the state and by a state agency. Okay, in Massachusetts, it's the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education and the Department of Early Education and Care. Because if your kid is in a program that's not licensed by the state and they do something wrong with your kid, you can't do poo-poo caca. You're out of luck. Okay, they're not accredited either. Okay, you have to have a program that's accredited so that your kid, if he graduates from that school, he can get a certified diploma. Which means they have to provide your kid with the curriculum frameworks in Massachusetts. They have to, if you're licensed by this Department of Ed or EEC, then you have to also follow through your license. You have to make sure you comply with the IDEA regulations, and you have to you agree to follow the IDEA regulations. You must comply with them. all federal laws, because you're receiving federal funds. That's why you want make sure you make sure that your school, whatever school your kid is in, is licensed. Okay. And what affiliations does that school have? Now, the better the school, the more affiliations. Okay. For instance, it says here, their MAPS approved. Okay. The National Association of Private Schools for Exceptional Children. That's an actual group of people. It's national. Okay. So you want to know that. There's a lot of schools in Massachusetts, like Chamberlain, what is it? Chamberlain and Cardinal Cushing and the League, and I mean, there's just so many. And Amigo, they're all part of that. Okay, they all have affiliations with that. They're all accredited. And you just ask them. And as a matter of fact, when you walk in the building, that crap should be hanging up to let you know. The history of the program is the program or school part of a larger organization, like a collaborative in Massachusetts. Okay, or BOCES in New York. What is the organizational structure? How long has the program been providing services to exceptional children? Those are all legit questions. If they can't answer those questions, too bad. If they're a public school, just write on the side public school. And so you can ask, well, how long is the program that they want your kid in? You say, well, how long has this been up and running? Okay, so you want to make sure that you're not being forced into that program because it's the only one they have. And so you got to go there. They can't do that either. And then you want to ask what related services that program offers. Because if they don't offer, which they should offer you everything, all of the things that you can get in a public school, you should be able to get over there. Now, if they don't offer those services, no worries, because the school district has to pay for it. Okay, if your kid's going to a private program and your kid needs OT and PT and speech and language, then your kid can get that because they'll send their people over to the private school. But all of the private schools that I dealt with, and I dealt with a lot of them in Massachusetts, and they all offered those services. Okay, because you can't have an IEP. If a kid needs, the kid's going to a private school, you can't take away all of his services because they're in a private school. That's stupid. The reason why those schools cost so much money is because of all of these services. Okay. So they take away those services, he's back in public school. A lot of these kids, especially the ones that are in schools that deal with children who are have psychological issues, their therapy is intense. You know, when you're talking about fire setters, you're talking about kids that have they demonstrate a sexualized behavior towards women or anybody or men or whatever it is. That's not good. Okay, and none of that's good. A lot of these kids, I had one kid where I had two. One, all she wanted to do was to be in a family. She was in foster care, and my sister was trying to get her into her home, and they fought us on it. And about a year later, the SPED director, they fought us and they won. A year later, the SPED director told me that she tried to commit suicide and she almost succeeded. All because she wanted to live with a family. Her mother was cray-cray and threw her down a flight of stairs when she was 3. Okay, so, and there was a lot of other issues going on there. Then there was this other kid that, I mean, it was really bad. The things that he went through a lot as a youngster. His mother's boyfriend put him in a dryer. And then he was almost a sociopath. I mean, there's lots of things that you have to look at. And these are things that I've seen over 25, 30 years. It's not, just your kids in public schools. When your kid is going to a private school, there's all of these questions are pertinent. You need to ask these questions. You also need to know about other activities. Now, a lot of these private schools, they have a lot of activities for the kids, like swimming and boat riding and picnics and going to amusement parks and all of these. There's a lot of things that are geared towards team building so that they learn how to play with others and work with others and as a team. So there's a lot of recreation. A lot of them offer vocational training, like Cardinal Cushing has it. And right now it's shut down because of COVID, but they had one of the, I'm not a real big fan of them at this moment in time, but they had a really good, give up on that. No, they're not going to give up. Time will give in. Fire starters will end up going to jail. Yeah, right, Barbara. I forgot what I was saying. I hate when I do that. Vocational training, and at Cardinal Cushing in Massachusetts, they have a restaurant where the kids work in, and it teaches them how to serve, like be a waitress and clean up the table, and it teaches them how to make lunch and serve people. They also have a nursery where they a nursery for flowers and stuff like that. So you want to ask them about vocational training. At one point in time, one of my clients, she actually had a job coach where they took her to TJ Maxx, and they took her to a nursing home. And so that's where, she could, she was exposed to this stuff, so that she had an opportunity if she wanted to go and work in these places. But she had to have a job coach. Transitional services, career planning, all of that stuff, okay, you have to know this stuff, because your kid may be, depending on that school, if some of these private schools, they only go to a certain age, like they only go to 4th grade, or they only go up to the 8th grade, or they start at 9th grade and go to high school, go to the end of high school, or when the kid ages out. So you need to know this information, okay? Program setting, program services provided in what type of setting, okay? And they're going to say, what do you mean? You look at them and you say, describe your program setting. With a program services provided in what setting? Is it a one-to-one? Is he going down the street? Is he going down the street in a closet? I mean, where is he going? How is he getting these services? What part of a typical week would your child be in? Regular classes, how many times, the grade level, special classes, the number of days, special school, home. Those are all questions you need to ask. All of it. Okay. Because sometimes, like what I told you about that kid earlier tonight, his IEP said that he was going to be in an 811 6 hours a day. That's 8 kids to 1 teacher plus an aide, 6 hours a day. Okay. That's what that is. Then they're saying that he was in that class plus, this is so funny, guys. I got to tell you this. I got to show you. In that thing that I was telling you guys about earlier. So they said that he was in an 811 6 hours a day, and at the same time, he was in 5 regular gen ed classes for 42 minutes. So I asked, how do you do that? At the same time? Is that what that means? They said, yeah. I said, how does he do that? Does he have an extended day? They said, no. How does he do that? They said, I don't know. You wrote this IEP. You said he was in gen ed classes. This IEP says 811, 6 hours a day, and 5 classes, 42 minutes a day, 42 minutes for each class. Gen ed. How's he doing that? That's why you have to ask these questions, because they're crazy. Okay, that's what they're calling their integrated class. You get 2 programs at the same time. Billing purposes, IEP. Because they're no good. They're just no good. So anyway, I had to tell you that story. That's funny. Staff certifications. You need to know, because up until recently, a lot of these people that worked at the private schools, they didn't have any degrees at all. They weren't certified in anything. They just started doing it. There's a lot of people that work. It's all for, that's right. It's all for the money. There was a lot of people. I remember I went to a workshop one time, and the Department of Mental Health was there. And they told me that none of the people that work in a school for kids with mental health issues, none of them were trained in that field. None of them. I was like, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean none of them? Why are the kids there then? They weren't. So that's why you have to do this. I mean, it's real important. You have to ask these questions. What is the overall program staff? Here it is. Here it is, guys. Staff ratio. What is, here it is. I'll do this one. Okay, under that section. What is the overall program staff to student ratio? So how many kids per student? So an 811 is 8 kids in a classroom with 1 teacher. So what is that ratio? What are the administrator's certifications? Okay. Regular ed teacher, full-time, part-time? What? Is that full-time, part-time? I think that's what it is. Regular ed teachers, grade and subject. So, okay, yeah. Regular ed teachers, how many? Full-time, part-time? What is the ratio in a classroom? What is the grade in the subjects? Special ed teachers, full-time, part-time ratio. Vocational teachers, adaptive PE, residential childcare. And here's all of the people that are working with your kid. Okay? And their caseloads. You want to know that too. Do you know how many times I've had people? I just had a psychologist tell a parent that recently that she can't take the case because she has 750 cases. What? So she couldn't give my client counseling, even though it's a related service and even though it's in his IEP. She said she couldn't do it. Oh, well, okay, we'll just skip it then. Stupid. Good. They're idiots. So that's why you want to ask these questions. Vision, behavioral specialist, psychologist. I mean, I'm in Cardinal Cushing right now, and they have a BCBA there, and I can't even tell you what they're not doing with this kid. They're just not doing anything. They're not teaching them a thing, and the BCBA is all good with it. He has a BCBA at the school, and the person that's the team chair, she's a BCBA. So effective treatment doesn't even exist. And that's one of the things for a BCBA. So these two people are well aware of this kid, and neither one of them are giving them effective treatment. None of them. I mean, they don't even know how to do a FBA. The faculty and equipment. You're going to want to know this if your kid is, especially for instance, if your kid's autistic, you're going to want to know the therapy areas, a lot of kids, well, not even autistic kids, but just kids in general. A lot of kids need a sensory break. They need a sensory room. The league had a wonderful room. I love the best thing about that school was the sensory room. It was really cool. It was, it had everything. It had swings. It had, stuff for the kids to bounce with, a whole bunch of stuff in there. So, and it was just for that. It was for the sensory piece to get kids to calm down and stuff. So you want to know about the materials and the equipment. And here's a thing over here to make notes. Specialized equipment, computer. You always want to know about computer and technology access. The food service, cleanliness. A lot of these programs aren't that clean. I'm reading my daughter's IEP. I can't see anywhere in it where they tested for dyslexia. Okay. It's not going to say that, honey. It's not going to say this is the test we use for dyslexia. Okay? What I want you to do is, you want to know what that is? This is what you do. Let me see. Pearson Clinical. Okay, there's a website called Pearson Clinical. Okay? Pearson Assessments. So what you want to do is you want to go to this website, right? And okay, I just click on here. What do I want? I want to. Okay. So discover a wide range of assessments. Okay. I'm just trying. They changed this website. So I used to know the format pretty good. Products. That's what I want. Okay. So academic learning, developmental, motor, sensory, okay, so you want this one. You're going to academic, and there we go, dyslexia. See? You see what I'm doing, honey? Julie? You see what I just did? You click on it, and what it'll do, it'll come up with a whole bunch of assessments. Did they do the CTOP too? Okay. Comprehensive test of phonological processing. Did they do that? They do any phonological testing? Well, there's a dyslexia. Okay, screenings aren't good. You never want a screening. Okay. No screenings are good. Great oral reading. Did they do that? Did they do the great oral? It's called the GORT 5, GORT. Okay. Kaufman. And these are, so really the one that you want is an auditory assessment skills. Is a tool for early identification of children who might be at risk for auditory skill deficits or early literacy skill deficits. You want that. Okay. Something like the ASA. Or you want a comprehensive phonological processing. Okay. That's what you need. Okay. And you get this at Pearson. I'll leave this link. Okay. They acknowledge analysis, writing, math, but would not use the term dyslexia. Do you have a diagnosis of dyslexia, Stephanie? A school district cannot diagnose your kid, number one, and you don't want them to. They're not licensed. They are licensed to find out if your kid meets the criteria through all of those assessments. They cannot diagnose your kid, okay? So what you want to do is, if you don't have lively letters, I have lively letters. I like that. That's by two women in Massachusetts. They're cool. I actually bought that book. I forgot their names. The girls. I don't have it here. Of course not. But Lively Letters is good. That Lively Letters was designed by these two women, their sisters. Did they do your daughters are getting the ables are. I just bought the stuff. I just got it in the mail. I got to go read about it, and then I'm going to do the ables. That's another thing, guys. I'm going to I can do I'm going to learn how to do the ables are, which is the assessment of basic language and learnings skills revised, and the AFLs, which is the assessment of functional skills. I just got the thing to do it. I already have the ables book. I might kick it up a notch and try to do it another way. But once I can do it, I can also do it virtually. So he has lively 2 years and made no gains. Really? Who did the lively letters with him? I had that book. Now I don't know where it is. It's irritating. It's packed, probably. I'm looking at my books. Then he needs another program, and you need a diagnosis. You need to take them. And I'm telling Massachusetts is a pain. If you're in Massachusetts, they're a pain in the ass when it comes to IEEs at public expense. I'm telling you guys, if you know your state's going to give you a hard time with getting an IEE, skip it, because it doesn't matter. Mine is just waiting for an appointment for both. Okay, good. The kindergarten teacher. Okay, yeah. All right, pre-K. All right, yeah. No. She might not know even how to do it. And even though it's easy, if he's made no gains, she should have stopped, for year one. So, and anybody can do lively letters. It's not like it's Orton Gillingham or anything. You don't need certification for it. So, actually in Pembroke, the woman did try to say that it was by the same people. She's so stupid. She said she got certified in the program. Tillian. They're the same people not the Tillian. Is it the Tillian? I think it is. They're the same people that did the Tillian method. And this woman in Pembroke Public Schools came to a team meeting and said, I actually had her on tape, that she was certified in it. And I said, what? Oh, okay. So I called Tillian. They were in Stoughton at the time. And they said, we don't certify anything. The only thing we do is we certify that they came here. I said, so they can use that to get paid, get their money back? Yes. So you certified they attended your program? She said, yes. I went back to the meeting and I said, the only thing they certified for that program was that you came there. That's it. They don't have certification for that program. She said, I never said that. I said, I have you on tape. You want me to play it? Her boss, the sped director, didn't like that. He said, no. I said, well, she lied. I hate people. Anyway, yeah. I like lively letters, but That's like, for me, Lively Letters is like a side thing. It shouldn't be a program. What else were they doing with your kid other than Lively Letters? And they should have, were they taking what he learned and, you know, transitioning it to what he's learning every day? Because if they separated it, if they separated the skills, then he needs to know how to use it, how to generalize what he's learning into his everyday. So if the teacher was giving it to him and she wasn't helping him to generalize, then yeah, he's not going to learn shit because they're stupid, honey. Stupid. But yeah, so what I'm going to do today, I hope this was helpful for you guys. I had a good time. I always have a good time when I talk to you guys. I'm going to put all of these links on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. Okay, so that you guys can see all of this stuff and you can get these documents, especially that parent checklist for all of you guys going to see your kids program. All of this stuff will be on there and you guys can just look it up. You guys got to go to my Facebook page and look at these links. Okay, they're very helpful and they will help you. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Like I said, Stephanie, they can't diagnose your kid, so you need to go. A lot of times, I don't know how old your son is, Stephanie. He's in the 1st grade. Okay, a lot of times, unless the dyslexia is really, really bad, not even an evaluator will diagnose him with dyslexia. And they won't diagnose until they're in the 4th grade. Yeah, I know it sucks, but it depends. If the dyslexia is really bad, then they'll diagnose him with dyslexia. But that's what you need, honey. You need that. What you need is, are you in Massachusetts, girl? Stephanie, are you in Massachusetts? He's 7. Yeah. He's not old enough yet, but it doesn't matter because you have, I'm not done. Mine is in the 2nd grade. Julie. Okay. Look at you two. Are you guys in Massachusetts? Are you two in Mass? Julie and Stephanie. What is it? One of you told me where you were. There's a family history. Oh, definitely, Stephanie. Then you definitely got to get it done. My other children have it. Oh, okay. Okay. Stephanie, there's a lady you call. Okay. This is her name. Okay. Wonderful. Carol Lavelle. You go to her. Okay. You go to girlfriend. Yes. You go to Carol Lavelle. Call her up and see if she can do a neuropsych. That's what you need. You need a neuropsych done. She'll tell you what your kid has. She'll diagnose your kid. She's the best. The best, the best, the best. You're going to have to wait, but it's okay. I just had, someone just did her. Oh, you know Dr. Lavelle? Yeah, that's my girl. I love her. Okay. I used to have another one, Dr. Cassins, but she retired. She's not doing it anymore. But I've always had her. She evaluated. Okay, there you go, girl. That's who you need to call. She'll set you up. Sure, it's a family thing, girl. You might get a family discount. Volume discount. You need to, I'm telling you, go there. She'll do it. She'll do it. And you know what? And they can't even argue. And here's the thing about Carol Lavelle. Everybody in Massachusetts knows her and her daughter. She is the best of the best of the best. And she's such a sweetie pie. She's little. She's just, I love her. I've met her like almost 20 years ago. Almost. I met her in person and she loves what she does. And you could tell she's good. Everybody in Massachusetts, all of the schools, they all know Carol Lavelle. It's like when they see her name, they know they're done. I'm telling you right now. As soon as they see her name, they know you're done. Because if you go to a hearing and Carol Lavelle is the one that's doing it, oh my God. She just did one for me. I just sent a parent to her. I think it was last year or the year before. And I think it was last year. And she's still awesome. I love her so much. She doesn't even remember me. I know she doesn't, but she's just wonderful. I send a lot of people to her. Julie, you're in Ohio. I can find you one. I'll find you one. But you need a neuropsych too, honey. Okay? You need a neuropsych. And that will solve all of the nonsense. Okay? When you guys get the evaluations done by the school, the best thing to do is to go to a neuropsych and make sure you give them all of the nonsense that the district did. Okay? Because Carol Lavelle and a real good neuropsych will always call attention to what the school district did. Okay? That's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. All right? You got to do it. bite the bullet. Go find Carol. I can't remember if she's taken insurance. Does she take insurance? Do you guys know? Stephanie, do you know if she takes insurance yet? I know at one point she didn't. She used to work for Braintree Rehab, and then it became Life Skills or something, Life something. And now she left. She's on her own. Girlfriend must be making a killing, and she will do it for an IE, as far as I know. So anyway, I gotta go, guys. I am so tired. I can't see straight. Thank you much. Appreciate it. Yes, I've done this before. Good. Go back. This will be my fourth, and she'll love you. She'll be like, "Oh yeah, this kid got it too." Oh yeah, no doubt. All right. I will talk to you guys next Tuesday. If anything pops off, let me know. I will put all of this stuff in there. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Please, 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 please. Okay. I'm trying to do something, and I'm trying to do, what do you call it? I want to get an app, Advocate on Demand. So all you guys would have to do is just type in a question and I will answer you. How do you like that? Let me know. How would you like that? Call you tomorrow. Yeah, Wendy, you keep saying that. I want to make sure. Are you okay, honey? I hope you're better. Yes, call me tomorrow. I'll be home all day. Because we're snowed in. 15 inches of snow in Pennsylvania. These people don't know what to do. Like, okay. I love you. I talk to you later. I hope you guys had a good time. I will put all those things on. You guys like, follow, subscribe, and hit that bell so you guys get notified every time I come on. Okay. Love you. Bye-bye. Stay warm and stay safe. Maurice, I love